All Lunduke Journal videos are now free for everybody. All articles and all audio podcasts are free. And yes, all videos very clearly from the Lunduke Journal are free for subscribers and for non-subscribers. All free on all publishing platforms. All right. Let me give you guys the rundown on this. A little over 2 weeks ago, the Lunduke Journal implemented a change. All of the articles and audio podcasts would remain free for everyone because the Lunduke Journal makes articles and audio podcasts and videos, right? But this new change was that the videos would now be published as subscriber exclusives, right? Meaning non-subscribers would no longer have access to the videos. They'd still have articles and podcasts, but not the videos. And this is what's known in the business world as a huge mistake made by a total bonehead. I will leave out who the particular bonehead is, but I'll let you figure that out for yourself. While my motivation for that change was very well intentioned, specifically, it was to provide some perks for all of you who are amazing subscribers to the Lunduke Journal. You make this possible, and I wanted to provide you some perks beyond simply making this important type of tech journalism possible. I wanted to give you something back, right? And also there was a business motivation. I wanted to be able to, along the same lines, have something to encourage new subscribers in the process, right? So all of these are good things. Those are good intentions. But in practice, this change was an absolute disaster. And the key problem may be a little different than what I think some of you were thinking it would be. Some people thought, oh no, if you're making the videos not free for everyone, that'll limit your reach. And that, I mean, kind of technically, yes, but realistically, the videos from the Lunduke Journal don't represent, especially the videos on platforms like YouTube, don't represent the bulk of the views. Most of the people going to the Lunduke Journal are getting the audio podcast or grabbing the articles. That's where most of the audience size is, right? So losing some thousands of views over on YouTube or Rumble or something like that really didn't make a huge impact one way or the other. But there was a very huge problem, a massive, and in hindsight, incredibly obvious problem with making videos subscriber only. And that was this. Many of you who are listening and watching this right now will subscribe to the Lunduke Journal on one platform, but you will prefer to watch or read or listen or whatever to the Lunduke Journal on a completely different platform. For example, someone who subscribes on Locals may watch the videos on YouTube, or another person who subscribes on Substack may watch the videos on Rumble and so on. In fact, it turns out this is incredibly common. Judging by the number of emails I received, this is really super duper common. I get emails from people who subscribe via Bitcoin or Locals or Substack or Patreon or any of these other things, and they're like, that's great, but I kind of like the ability to watch or listen anywhere. Because if you go to lunduke.com and you look on the side, there's a whole bunch of different places where you can watch or listen or read, right? So you can watch the videos on Substack, X, Rumble, YouTube, Locals, Patreon, or the itch downloads. And people liked that they could just bounce around. They could if they subscribed on Substack, they could watch the videos on Substack, or because they were free, they could use their TV or their phone or whatever to watch it on YouTube. They could bounce all over the place. It was easy, right? And by making those videos subscriber only on all these platforms, it made watching the Lunduke Journal's videos significantly more difficult for the subscribers. The very people that it was supposed to be a perk for, it actually hindered their ability to watch the Lunduke Journal videos. It made it so much harder because now because all of these different systems aren't tied together. Like there's not nice, easy ways to have an account on YouTube tied to an account on Substack and X and all these other platforms. So if you have a subscription in one place, now you couldn't watch it in another. What a royal pain in the tuchus, right? So, shoot, I am man enough to admit when I have made a mistake. And boy, howdy, was that a mistake. That is what I would like to call a whoopsie daisy. Oh boy, whoops. So, backtrack, strike that, reverse it. Effective immediately, videos are now officially free for everyone. Just like the articles and the podcasts. Everything's free. That includes all platforms which the Lunduke Journal publishes to. So again, that is Substack, X, Rumble, YouTube, Locals, Patreon. The Itch is a little bit different. You have to pick up a subscription to Itch because that's just how Itch works. It's a totally different MP4 download thing. But everywhere else, it's all just free to grab, along with the podcasts and the articles. Because, and this is really important, making sure that reading and listening to and watching the Lunduke Journal is convenient for all of you is a top priority. I want to make sure that the experience of enjoying the content, for lack of a better word, the articles and the videos and everything else from the Lunduke Journal is a convenient, simple, enjoyable, and flexible process. You should be able to just grab it and enjoy it wherever you want, on whatever device you want, using whatever accounts you want. That is what I want to have happen, right? So over the next day, over the next 24 hours or so, all of the subscriber-exclusive videos that I published over the last 2 weeks, because that's about how long that this whoopsie-daisy has been implemented, those will all become free for everyone. That has already started, and you will see that trickle out over the next 24 hours. All of those subscriber and member-exclusive videos will just become free for everyone to enjoy, to share, to watch on whatever service you like, on whatever device you like. So thank you for bearing with me through all of that and being patient with me. And there you go. That's all resolved there. Now, I would like to take a moment to just do a little aside here. And I want to talk about running the Lunduke Journal, a little inside baseball on this, because running the Lunduke Journal is not an easy thing to do. Because what we're doing with the Lunduke Journal is unique. Pretty much every tech journalist is funded by big tech, or by medium tech, but by big, large tech and computer companies, right? This includes money coming in for advertisements, money coming in for sponsorships, money for paid articles. And oh, those are the most insidious things. They are articles that look like real journalism, but are in fact just repackaged ads and press releases. This happens all the time. If you go to any number of major tech news outlets, the biggest ones that come to mind when you think about what are the tech news websites that are out there, out of 20 articles, there will be at least one or two of them that are paid articles. And I find that just off-putting and frustrating as all get out. And you take away that big tech money, that sweet, sweet big tech money. As soon as you take it away, 9 out of 10 of those tech news outlets would go out of business tomorrow, or at least by the end of the month. I mean, they are barely staying afloat with all that big tech money. Which means that they need to keep those big tech corporations happy, super happy. And that shows in their coverage and the refusal to touch so many important news stories. I mean, how many things have you seen covered by the Lunduke Journal that no other tech news outlet would even touch? I mean, the leaks that came out of several companies, Microsoft and IBM and Red Hat and Adobe, the leaks alone, they don't touch them. They're terrified to even mention the existence of many of these whistleblowers and leaks. Terrified. Because that money, boom, go away, poof, gone, bye. They're out of business. So by choosing to not take a single penny from big tech, the Lunduke Journal has the freedom to tell the truth. I mean, it really is as simple as that. We can now follow the tech news stories wherever they lead, no matter who it makes grumpy. If the Lunduke Journal began running ads and sponsored stories and paid stories and the like, it would be much easier to run the Lunduke Journal as a business, to keep the lights on, so to speak. But it would also mean that some of the most important stories that the Lunduke Journal has broken over the last several years would never have been published at all. I mean, it's amazing to look back and think through the sheer number of stories that, if the Lunduke Journal had not existed to publish them, they simply would never have been told. It's massive numbers, massive stories. But it also means that keeping the Lunduke Journal in business is even trickier than it is for all those brand X tech news outlets, which already have a hard time of staying afloat. Even with all their big tech moolah, they can barely stay afloat. They've been doing cost-cutting measures and turning to AI chatbots to write articles and having less and less quality writers working for them. I mean, this is just an ongoing thing. And so the Lunduke Journal, trying to stay in business without the one thing that the tech publication and tech news industry has relied on for the last several decades to stay afloat, it means we're really blazing new ground. There's no one that's doing what the Lunduke Journal is doing from a business perspective. It's incredibly tricky. Now, what's amazing, I mean, truly amazing, I mean, I'm not saying amazing like some sort of hyperbole, like, look how great we are. No, it's really shocking that we're able to pull this off, is that against all odds, we have pulled it off. For years now. The Lunduke Journal has stayed in business for years without taking a dime from big tech. And that's all thanks to all of you. Thank you. Seriously, I mean that. Thank you for making this possible. And so that's why we're making this change, where we're making everything free for everyone. It's specifically because making things easier and nicer and more convenient for all of you, all of the subscribers, is absolutely paramount. Whatever it takes to make things nicer for all of you. That's the most important thing, is one, telling the truth and not taking money from big tech, and two, those who support the Lunduke Journal. The thousands of you out there who subscribe to the Lunduke Journal and plop a couple of bucks down here or there to keep the lights on. Shoot, I got to make sure things are easy and nice for you to enjoy. And by making those videos subscriber exclusive, that just made things trickier and more convoluted, with more steps to jump through and more hoops, and it was frustrating. It was not a good experience. So it's all free. So wherever you want to get the videos, wherever you want to get the audio podcasts, wherever you want to get the articles, they're available to you on a ton of different platforms. And it just goes without saying, if you haven't grabbed a subscription yet, now is a great time to do it. We're doing 50% off through the end of August, which is just a few days from now. Where is that here? I don't have that up here. Where is that? If you go to lunduke.com and you scroll down, there's a how to support the Lunduke Journal, and there's a little 50% off Lunduke Journal subscriptions there. Now, a lot of you may be asking, well, if all of the articles are free and all of the podcasts are free, and all of the videos are free, why do I become a subscriber to the Lunduke Journal? It's a fair question, right? That's a fair question. What is the deal that we're making here? If you plop down, like, let's say you grab an annual subscription to the Lunduke Journal at 50% off, that works out to, I think it's $2.25 a month. Okay, so what do you get for $2.25 a month above what you'd get for free? Well, the reality is not a whole heck of a lot. In fact, what you're really doing is investing in the Lunduke Journal to make sure that this sort of coverage continues. Because without all of you jumping in and becoming subscribers, this sort of coverage goes away. You want the coverage of what's happening with Mozilla or IBM or Red Hat, or the crazy thing that Microsoft is doing, or the wild insanity that's happening through parts of the open source and Linux world, on and on and on. Stuff that really needs to be told throughout the open source world and Linux world and BSD world and the big tech world and all of it. The Lunduke Journal has to exist. The moment the Lunduke Journal ceases to exist, those stories stop getting told. And I'm going to tell you right now, there's a lot of big tech companies and open source foundations that would love it if the Lunduke Journal turned off the lights tonight. They would be thrilled. Now, the good news is that's not going to happen. Right? We've been in business now doing this for several years. I mean, I've been doing coverage of this sort of thing for close to 20 years now. And I've been in business with this general business model of no big tech money with the Lunduke Journal for many years. Many, many years. And I'm not going to be stopping anytime soon. This is what I like to do. And this is what needs to be done. And so I'm determined to make it continue to work. And based on the number of subscriptions that are coming through and the people who are saying, yes, I want to plop down my $2.25 a month or whatever it is, I am confident we're going to be able to keep going. But if you want to help make sure that happens, become a subscriber. There are some benefits. There are some perks. You get access to our forum. If you go to lunduke.com, there's a little link, little forum link there. The forum is just for subscribers. If you pick up a subscription on on Locals or Substack or even one of the lifetime subscriptions via either of those or Bitcoin or whatever, you get access to the forum, which is just a nice place to hang out for all of us like-minded nerds. If you want to grab the digital DRM-free downloads, you can grab those via itch. Again, those links are on lunduke.com. And if you subscribe on Substack or Locals, you get the ability to take part in the comment threads of every story that appears. Those are subscriber-only things. Now, will more perks roll out as I come up with creative ways to say thank you to all the subscribers? Yeah. We're not gonna go back to making any of the articles, videos, or podcast perks. Those are just gonna remain free for everyone because that's the way it needs to be. But I'll try and come up with some more perks here and there. But if you haven't already grabbed a subscription, I recommend it. Do it while it's 50% off for the month of August. But you know what? It doesn't really matter whether you do it now or later, or you've already done it previously, or what type of subscription, a monthly, a yearly, a lifetime, whatever kind of subscription you want. Every single one of every size helps. And in fact, that's kind of one of the beautiful things about Lunduke Journal subscribers is that there's so many of you, and that there's no one or two or even a handful of subscribers that make up the bulk of the Lunduke Journal's income. It's really spread out, right? It's huge numbers of people plopping in a couple of dollars. And that's truly fantastic, because that means the Lunduke Journal can't be influenced by anyone. Really, no one person can come in and say, I'm going to pull my subscription if you say that mean thing about Red Hat. Well, okay. I'm still going to say the thing about Red Hat, though. If it's news and it's real and I vetted it and it's a news story and it's about the biggest Linux company in the world, I'm going to tell you what it is, whether you like it or not. And that's beautiful. That's a beautiful thing. So thank you again to everyone who has made this possible. Once again, go to lunduke.com for all the different places where you can read and listen and watch the Lunduke Journal. It's all up there. Lots and lots of free options coming out of your nose and your ears. It's so good. And thank you again to everyone who's made this possible. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, nerds and nerdettes across this vast and glorious intertube of ours, I do declare, end broadcast.